All right, everybody, thank you for joining tonight's press conference with head coach Pat Noonan following FC Cincinnati's 2-1 win over Orlando City SC. We'll go ahead and start with questions here in person before moving to the Zoom. If you do have a question, please use the raise hand function. We'll get things started with Pat if you'd like to make a statement on tonight's win.
Yeah, pretty gutsy performance. That was challenging, as you could see from both sides, just with the turnaround and the conditions. You could see that the players felt it, and it became a game of just field position and ball control. It wasn't a game where if it became transitions, either team I think could stay with that pace. So very controlled. Credit to Orlando, they pushed and threw everything at us, and we were fortunate there at the end to not concede again. But like I said at the beginning, a gutsy performance from our guys, and I'm happy that they, get to walk off the field with 3 points against a very good team on the road.
Sorry, Ricardo.
Pat, congratulations on
Thank
the
you.
result. You mentioned off the top at the beginning of the season a lot how your guys were able to find results in performance and were winners, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of leadership. Then you maybe lost that element in that one bad week. Do you feel like you've turned a corner after that extended break, and the team has found a confidence again that can gut out these results?
You said it. We had one bad week of an entire season so far, as far as seeing games out or not getting results and performances as well. So this is the same group that just won 3 games that had a good stretch at the beginning of the season of closing out games, and the week where we're not at our best and we don't see out the games the right way is the week that you're mentioning. So if we can be talking about 1 week over the course of a season up to this point where there's a little bit more disappointment, then we're in a good place. So the guys worked. They gave everything. There was some really good stretches of ball movement, of getting into the attack where I think we were still hesitant to run the goal and really change speeds and take risk. I think the elements factored into that. But, I think defensively, on the other side of it, when we needed to, get organized and be patient with our press and wait for a ball recovery to, gain momentum again and slow the game down with the ball, I thought we did that pretty well also. So, a challenging night for those guys. They gave everything. They're exhausted in there.
You mentioned some of the challenges, and I'm curious, for having guys like Gilberto, Matt, especially on the defensive line, giving full performances both nights with the quality they did. How important was that for you in this stretch, and for those players individually for how they are able to come off of it?
Good for Gilberto's growth, turn it around, go perform again against a team that this is new to him, and so he doesn't understand going into it. We try to prep him as best we can how difficult this is, a place this is to come in and perform. Orlando's very talented. They have very good attacking pieces where you have to be on all the time and tuned into the game. So that was good for his progress, just to see him turn it around again and put together a strong performance. For Matt, it was turning it around after 2 days, which he hasn't done, and perform the way he did. He's looking like himself again, and he was making plays in the box with very little left in the tank that show the level that he provides as far as reading the game and making plays that make a difference. So very pleased with both of those two. Teenage, I thought, put in a strong effort as well. So the back line was strong yet again.
Evander's brace, the free kick, and then the goal in transition will probably be highlights out of this game, but it felt like even more so you highlighted on Wednesday your emphasis on getting him on the ball more, and it
Right.
looked like he was playing with maybe more comfort or confidence in all phases of play. Do you think that emphasis is starting to set in, and he's starting to the team is starting to see what you're asking for?
He's a special player. You saw it on the free kick. He's just doing things that others can't do, and that gives us nice momentum going into the break. But the message at halftime was he's getting on the ball in good ways and control and helping to control the rhythm, but maybe needs to do that in a higher position and be patient, because he can still be very effective and I think get on the ball by not having to continue to drop. And so that was the message at halftime. You see on the second goal, a willingness to run behind, which we need, and understanding at times when a forward is working off the line or the space is not underneath and it's to stretch the field. Can he recognize those moments and find that movement? And he did a great job. I think maybe I'm mistaken the goal for another moment where he gets in behind and plays the ball across. Maybe it was Kai's chance. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look. But either way, even the second goal, it was a very similar play to the Montreal moment where Kevin has his chance, just opposite side. A very good hard run by Kevin to open up a very committed run by Kai on the opposite side, and Evander finds him. So similar plays in transition where we just miss out, and I think Gleason makes a great save. But yeah, he's special, and we need to get him on the ball, and we need to get him closer to goal more consistently.
All right, we'll move to the Zoom now for questions. Cameron, if you'd like to start.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for taking the time. Obviously banged up squad coming into today on the second match of the week. What do you make of some of the performances of those guys who stepped in and filled some shoes today?
I mentioned Teenage. I thought Teenage was strong tonight. He had a couple, I think, performances prior to this start where he wasn't himself, and tonight he looked like himself and performed in a really good way. At the end there, he was dealing with cramping and I think potentially rolled his ankle, so we'll have to see what that looks like in the coming days. But I was pleased with Teenage. I thought Brian defensively was outstanding. Between him and Pavel, I think could have been better with the ball. I think they know that too. They did some really good things, but there was also moments where we needed to control play and be better under pressure, where we turned the ball over and they had some dangerous transition moments. But Brian gives you everything, and defensively when you need him, typically he's in the right spot to make plays for you. So pleased with Brian. And then Dotto, I think, had good stretches, but also it was a physical game at times where this is another game where we're playing him a little bit higher because we want the freedom for Evander underneath at times, but he also does a good job of moving off the line. So in those moments, how do you connect passes? How do you hold the ball against a physical team, center backs? And I think that part is an area where he can improve, just understanding the contact and knowing how to create space so that he's not getting pushed off the ball too easy. So that's something that stood out.
Cameron, do you have anything else?
And then just finally, building off this 3-game win streak and undefeated June, kind of what are you hoping to see from the group moving forward? Kind of looking at the month holistically, to continue that momentum.
I like the way we're managing games. I think that part has improved. I still think if we wanted to look more connected, I'll continue to harp on being better with the ball. There's just long stretches where we have to defend where I think it's unnecessary because the movement's not there and guys switch off in the wrong moment, or technically we let ourselves down and all of a sudden you're chasing the ball. So that's an area of improvement. I think defensively we're getting things better. I think defending the box has been pretty consistent all year, but that was strong again tonight. I think our structure and understanding how to step to the ball has been noticeable in a good way over these last 3 games. And we won 3 games on the road, which is very difficult to do. So I'm very pleased for the group for understanding how to find consistency and the right approach to playing on the road in this league and being able to get results.
Great, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
We'll move now to Damon. Damon, go ahead.
Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
You obviously said this was a physical match. There was that pulling apart that got a little heated towards the end of the first half. Did you say anything to the team at halftime to maybe keep cooler heads or just play smarter and not get too heated on the field?
That was part of the message. Just now we have a chance to reset, talk through the first half, but also understand the emotional side of things and how you need to manage this. A couple guys on a card coming out of the break, so turn our focus to playing and not get caught up in the opponent, the officials, any of it. Just let's focus on playing and we'll be okay. So there were certainly moments where we could have been better in the second half, but I think you see both teams, putting a lot into it, and there's fatigue, there's frustration, there's excitement, there's a little bit of everything. And for the most part, I think even in the second half, we showed improvement.
Damien, anything else?
Yeah, I have one.
Sure.
You mentioned Dado. He has become a bit of a foul magnet from other teams. He gets beat around a lot, but draws a lot of fouls. Obviously, that first goal came off a foul that was committed on him.
Right.
Is there any kind of benefit to keeping someone who can draw fouls like that on the field longer and putting someone like Kai on who maybe has a bit more physical stature?
No. Dowda does a good job of using his body to draw fouls, but then there's the other side of it where can he be better about avoiding tackles because you find separation to be able to receive the ball without pressure, to be able to connect the next pass. Dotto in the last moment, I think, has a good feel for knowing how to take a touch and draw fouls, but we're not, making selections with our starting 11 because guys know how to draw fouls. Dotto did a good job, and then Kai comes in, and then there's the other side of the hold-up play in a physical presence where it's more challenging for the opponent because of what Kai provides, and that's why we made that decision. And I think Kai did a good job in his 40 minutes with the added time there.
Thanks, Coach.
And
Thank you.
We'll wrap up with one more question from Jose.
Hi, Pat. Jose Nunez with MLSsoccer.com. In 2023, coached an Argentine into an MVP conversation, obviously winning the trophy as well. Do you think you're sort of seeing that with the Brazilian under your eyes at this point in the season?
Lucho played himself into an MVP season, and that's what you're seeing from Evander. It's our job to help guide them the right way and understand their teammates and how they fit into all this, but I have nothing to do with the level of quality that and talent that Evander has. What he did on the free kick is nothing I can teach, and the second goal is a team goal. So his teammates are understanding how to get him on the ball in the right moments. But I can say it's a pleasure coaching him.
Anything else, Jose?
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you.